Hello Clash fans, Trample Damage coming at you today from the week of Clan War League, where we finished in 3rd place, which I probably already mentioned on one of my other videos, depending on when I actually post this. Today, I am going to be sharing a cool army that Congressman Coolrick got probably from the internet somewhere. I don't remember who he said, and I still haven't asked him because I just recorded the other video. But this one is 6 Super Yetis, so we're starting with the Grand Warden, and you see the Rage, which makes you think, well, Trample Damage, he must also be using the Fireball. He's not. He's using the Life Gem, and I know what you're thinking. Nobody uses the Life Gem, Trample Damage. Well, Congressman Coolrick is using the Life Gem. I haven't tested this out myself, but he said that he tried it with the Fireball as well as some of the other pieces of equipment, and that the Life Gem, largely because of using the Troop Launcher, which is then going to be giving the benefit to the Giants and the Wizards, or the Giants, the Barbarians, the Archers, and the Wall Breakers that are coming out of the Clan Castle, or out of the barrels that are attached to the Troop Launcher. So yeah, I can see that as being something that's pretty useful. So the way this attack is working, it's a fairly typical Warden Walk. You can see the Minion Prince is actually going to take out this baby dragon pretty quickly, so we get no discernible funnel on that side of the base. But we are starting with 5 healers, Grand Warden, pretty typical Warden Walk, but we don't have any rage spells or invisibility spells to keep him safe. What we have is 5 revive spells. We do have 1 freeze spell, and this freeze spell got used pretty early on. But the idea here, like with the typical Warden Walk, is, you set a little bit of a funnel, and then you send in your funnely troops. He does have a Valkyrie to help with some of the other buildings and skeletons that potentially wind up causing problems. We are running a few super wall breakers to help us get a little bit further into the base, and I think the Clan Castle is actually full of super wall breakers as well. Maybe a couple of them. So on the one side of the base, we've got the Grand Warden. Normally you get a little tiny bit of an external funnel with that baby dragon, but we didn't get that. We are bringing in the Barbarian King and the Royal Champion. The Royal Champion is rocking the Electric Boots and the Rocket Spear, which he has been triggering every single time the moment he deploys her onto the map. The Barbarian King is using the Vamp Stash and the Snake Bracelet, so no discernible triggered ability for him either. So Grand Warden, no really triggered ability. They'll get some hit points back. Same thing with the Barbarian King. Queen has Healer Puppet and the action figure. So funnel basically set for the Warden. We drop in a bunch of Super Yetis. He goes over to support the Super Yetis. They start heading in, and the first Super Wall Breaker was actually put down. So part of the fun of a live recording is that when somebody calls my phone while I'm recording, it potentially messes things up. So we do see the Troop Launcher coming in there. There is a Super Wall Breaker. So I want to say, and we'll take a look at it when the attack ends, but the Clan Castle has a bunch of Super Wall Breakers, so that as the Troop Launcher is tossing those barrels into the base, we are not only getting a pair of Giants, a couple Barbarians and Archers, but also a Super Wall Breaker to help continue punching the walls open. Thus far in the attack, we have yet to use any of the revive spells. I will tell you the majority of the targets I see him using on the revive spells are the Barbarian King and the Royal Champion. Over here, the Barbarian King has just gone down. The Phoenix is up. Please be careful. Do not use the revive spell on the King while he has his invincibility going, because if you do, you will waste the spell. Make sure it is clearly done and the Phoenix is no longer glowing, or that the Phoenix has been knocked out before you use that. We will now end up seeing the next revive spell go on the Royal Champion when she gets taken down over here by this multi-archer tower. I want to say he pretty quickly drops that back in there and gets her on her feet. I don't think I've seen any attacks that he's made where he has used his revive spells on the Grand Warden, and maybe there's one of them, I think, where he tries to use it on the Archer Queen. Oh yeah, it's the one that he had a 98% fail in War number 6 in this. It was 3 out of 4. 75% success rate, and I don't think he uses any more. Oh, he went ahead and used that one on the whoever had gotten knocked out. That looks like the Archer Queen. But this attack was already a foregone conclusion between the heroes that are still out there. This was going to go down no problem. He does swag 2 of the spells and the Warden ability, which is really just a little bit of hit point recovery for him. It's a very cool attack. I think it's amazing. I definitely need to give it a shot myself. We didn't look at what was in the Clan Castle. We will definitely look at what's in the Clan Castle this time. So same general strategy. Let's go. Oh, there is Coolrick. Replay. Coolrick is cool. So we can go ahead and start Warden Walk. Pretty typical Warden Walk. So we've got Warden Walk coming in at the top. We've got a baby dragon over here getting a little bit of stuff taken down. Maybe 2 or 3 buildings. Do we get 3? We got 3 buildings taken down with the baby dragon. Warden has carved a little bit of a path over here, and then I think when he gets the Tesla down, he goes ahead and brings in the rest of the Super Yetis, and we are off to the races. However, we do need to get, normally Barbarian, I think the Barbarian King comes in on this side over here. There he is. Barbarian King plus the Royal Champion using the Rocket Spear. The King is really, really good with this army and this equipment setup between the Vamp Stash and the Snake Bracelet, because he just keeps recovering so many hit points, and the snakes just keep jumping over the outside walls to help with some of those defenses on the inside. Here, the troops are just continuing to plow their way through. You can see those super wall breakers inside that troop launcher. Very, very effective because they're just going right into the core of the base where the army is at. We do have a... Let's say the revive spell is about to come on the Royal Champion. Royal Champion, where are you? Revive spell. Okay, well, there it goes. Royal Champion's back on her feet. We got Super Yetis doing their thing with Archer Queen doing her thing. Everybody's chilling. I think we swagged a bunch of... Oh, no, he starts using a couple more toward the very end of the attack here. I think the Rico Cannon takes the Barbarian King down at some point. These Super Yetis, very, very powerful. You want to say, like, oh, Eternal Tome's getting nerfed pretty soon here. I don't know, try this attack. So who just got knocked out? There's a Royal Champion got knocked out, dropped a Revive spell, brought her back. King just got knocked out. We can go ahead and use a Revive spell on him to get him back in action. Those spells were obviously not needed. There was plenty of time left in the attack. And now we're going to look at the clan castle. Yes, it is a balloon and 4 super wall breakers along with 2 rocket balloons, which I think means... balloon comes out first, so it'll go balloon and then super wall breakers and then rocket balloons. I'm gonna have to test that and check that out, but pretty exciting stuff. It's a really cool attack. I haven't tried it myself, but I've been seeing him do it. He did have a fail. It was a 98% 2-star. It was not a time fail. It was just, you know, kind of ran out of gas and ended up getting slowed down over here by the multi-gear tower and the minion prince. But we'll just go ahead and speed things along so you can see. Warden Walk on the corner. I don't even know that I love the baby dragon, but I guess some funneling for the baby dragon, probably just to move the Barbarian King down this direction so he stays here instead of wandering over here. So, okay, yeah, I get that. That makes sense. And then the Rocket Spear also taking out some of those defenses to keep the Barbarian King moving in the direction that we want. Yetis all come in, Troop Launcher comes down, Super Wall Breaker to get them in the first outside portion. Yep, there we go. It's 1 balloon, and then Super Wall Breaker. And then Super Wall Breaker. We'll come back to that in a minute. But we've got Royal Champion. I know the Royal Champion gets mugged by this monolith a couple of times. Let me slow this down to regular speed. We can see the Royal Champion getting hit by the monolith. Still got another Super Wall Breaker in there in the Troop Launcher. Another Super Wall Breaker in there. And then the first Revive spell coming down on the Royal Champion. She does eventually get knocked out by the monolith again. Where, oh, there's a rocket balloon, and then this last one will probably have another rocket balloon. Boop, rocket balloon. There it goes. So the super wall breakers come out before the rocket balloons. The Royal Champion manages to take down some of those things, and then we just start to run out of gas a little bit. We did have a couple of Revive spells left, brought the Royal Champion back again, that multi-gear tower, mowing her down along with the Minion Prince, and he was saving his final for, I was thinking that bringing the Royal Champion back was probably not going to be great because she'd be fighting, again, the multi-gear tower and the and the Minion Prince. He did revive the Archer Queen, I think, hoping that she'd get in here to take some stuff. If he had revived her while the Giant was still around, maybe it would have made a difference. But that Minion Prince with the multi-gear tower, I think, was going to be pretty problematic. And we were going to be looking at a potential time issue anyway, because the Super Yetis don't get back over here to this elixir storage by the time we run out of time. So I would say it's maybe a time fail. Maybe they would have, I don't know if they had electromites left. Maybe they could have taken the multi-gear tower, but that was the only attack that he did not triple in this Clan War League. The first 3 were a 12 furnace, actually 15 if you count the 3 in the Clan Castle, a 15 furnace attack that was pretty cool. And we will wrap it up with this last video. If I didn't mention already, check out my podcast, Inside Clash with Trample Damage. Great podcast. I love it. Other people do too. It's not just me. But my podcast is just me. I'm talking for like an hour. I used to say 30 to 45 minutes, but I don't think I've ever had an episode that short. So I'll call it an hour. It's like typical podcast length. We got a rage. I've got a Warden Walk going here. And that life gem is pretty solid. Life gem, you get the continual benefit throughout the course of the attack because the troop launcher continues to supply you with giants and barbarians and archers inside there. We do run a couple of, as we indicated before, some super wall breakers to try and help get us in. He did get a split on this last attack, but it was crushed so thoroughly. I don't think he used, maybe he uses one of the revive spells. But even though the Super Yeti split between the healers that went with them and the giant leading the charge over there and all the different abilities that the heroes have in there, we left the Royal Champion is down. Does he use one on the Royal Champion? Yep, he uses 1 on the Royal Champion and he swagged the other 4. So she gets back in here, but I honestly probably could have swagged that Royal Champion. I don't think it was necessary. There were plenty of troops left in there. A lot of stuff still could take these things down, but swagging 4 of those, a very nice end to his week in Clan War League. 6 out of 7. Very, very happy to see that kind of performance out of any of my clanmates. And he did it with 2 different attacks, both of which are pretty new, and I'm really excited. I hope you enjoy the video. Make sure that you're subscribed, use code TRAMPLE, all that stuff. Check out my other social media, and we will check you guys out on the next video.